Hey there everyone, welcome back to another Game Vault video. As always, I'm Captain Beefy. This is the Game Vault. We got a little Kotaku article today. This one's about Assassin's Creed Shadows, and it's going to actually have a canon mode for Animus purists, which is kind of weird. Anyway, let's cue up the music, and we're going to talk about this. All right, we've read some articles from this clown John Walker before here with Kotaku, and everybody at Kotaku's a clown. We know that. Can't wait for these guys to go out of business, but of course they're going to report on this. This is weird. Okay, so these kind of games have branching narratives in them, right? These Assassin's Creed games, you have choices you can make, decisions you can do. Some people will live, some people will die. Certain things will happen in these games. And ultimately, it affects your outcome. With canon mode, I guess, these decisions are going to be made for you. I mean, it's the ultimate dumbing down of a game, okay? So Ubisoft is a strange old publisher, closing down teams and killing off so many projects, but the games that do reach us tend to be mostly extraordinarily accessible, replete with groundbreaking options to make the games playable for the widest number of people in the most specific ways possible. Yeah, you could say that. With the next year's Assassin's Creed Shadows, maybe next year, there's to be yet another innovative step, a canon mode that will optimally streamline its narrative to one historical path. During a Reddit AMA last night, 4 developers working on the game answered questions about Assassin's Creed Shadows, including news that the game will feature an immersive mode that will have all the game's characters speaking in Japanese, while explaining that the game's months-long delay has been used for polish, debugging, and balancing, specifically fine-tuning the parkour and improving the parry mechanics. But perhaps the most interesting reveal is the canon mode, designed to appease players who are concerned about the game's branching storylines, given the series' focus on synchronizing with the past. Just play the freaking game, guys. What's going on with gamers anymore? Everybody wants things to be just so bloody easy, it seems, these days. And there's so many things out there. I mean, I get accessibility in games. I have no problem with that for people that are colorblind and people that are hard of hearing and things of that nature. I get it, man. The more the merrier for playing games. That's cool. I got to draw the line somewhere, though. For people that are afraid to make the wrong decisions in a game, you're just going to hold their hand and make the decisions for them. I mean, we do have easy mode for people that want to play games in like a story mode or something like that. You'll see that in games like God of War and Horizon Zero Dawn. And that's fine. You want to play in easier mode, that's fine too. You want to get through the game. You don't have a lot of time to master, all the mechanics and the combat and all that. Cool. Play in easy mode. It's your game. You bought it and all that. And I guess if you want to do canon mode, it's your game. You bought it too. But it's kind of a weird thing because it takes away the decisions from you, and that's not a skill thing. I get the skill thing, making it easier, right? You just can't, you don't have the skill to do the combat or whatever, right? You don't have the time to get good, as they say for From Software games. So you want to make it a little easier. You can't solve the puzzles. You don't have enough time. You just don't have that kind of a brain. Fine, cool. Get you a little more time. Whatever, man. But making decisions for you, that's right up there with the arachnophobia thing that takes the legs off of spiders and the eyeballs and makes them look like just weird blobs because you have arachnophobia. It's just that's scary. I don't know, man. But anyways, as choices come more into play when recruiting allies and romance some of the characters, said Jonathan Dumont. Oh, it's almost worth playing it in that mode just to see how gay they want to push you to be. The director on Shadows. Since the fan base is divided on branching dialogues, we have incorporated an option called Canon Mode, which allows you to play the game with choices already made for you to give you a choice-free experience. Elsewhere in the thread, Dumont adds, you will still be able to switch characters in the open mode. You will still be able to switch characters in the open in this mode. Okay? This news was met with delight by those taking part in the AMA. Wait, what? Are you serious? That's basically what the fan base has been asking for since 2018, said one person. Oh my god, amazing, replied another. A third suggested wild pitch. Retroactively add this mode to Odyssey and Valhalla. Why? I mean, Really, why? So, in a game like this, I get it. You may play through. So sometimes these games always will impact later games to some extent or the other, right? Like, if you have a choice between two characters to play, you may play through as one character but not the other, but one character turns out to be the canon character, the character that they actually refer to in a later game as the one that's being played. So maybe you played as the wrong character and not the right one. Big deal. That's not the end of the world, right? You just say, okay, well, I chose wrong. Cool, rewrite history for you. It's not the end of the world. So I don't know, man. It's really, really strange that that they're having that canon mode for you like that. But anyway, let's move on. So it says, while there are some very loud voices that strongly believe all games should only be playable in their hardest modes, and that's goofy, Back in real life, everyone approaches games very differently. Some seek super hard, reflex-heavy combat, and want to be told the story by a fixed narrator, while others love to become embroiled in a twisting narrative on which they have huge influence, but want to walk away at the sight of a boss fight. And indeed, everything in between outside of that and a whole lot combined. Ubisoft has been making some big strides in the games it does release regarding letting players structure a game according to their own tastes. And while it's fair to say the publisher has led the way in this regard, many others are now following. Where once we were lucky to choose between easy, normal, and hard, it's becoming more commonplace to let a player tweak specific aspects of their $70 purchase, creating the tone of the game that best suits their desires, and we're edging closer and closer to my skippable boss fight future. What? I don't want that, man. But there is something to be said about the tweaking of a game. I like where we're going with games where you can just make certain things a little harder or a little easier. If you're finding something a little too easy, you can make it a little bit harder. Make the bosses or make enemies just a little tougher. Make them a little more dangerous. Make yourself a little weaker or a little stronger if you're just getting killed a little too much. I like the little customizations that you can do in games. That's a cool feature instead of just easy, regular, and hard. So I'm all for that. I'm all for customization. That's not a problem. This just seems weird to me. I don't know. Maybe I've just got to get with the times and this is going to be a normal thing in the future. What do you guys think? Tell me what you think about it. Do you think it's kind of cool? Do you think it's stupid? I don't know. But anyway, it seems like yet another step in this direction to offer an option to those who simply don't want to make narrative choices for whatever reason. There are many Assassin's Creed diehards who want a single pure storyline to make sense of the games, reliving history through memory and find the player-driven deviations, deviant. For others, it could be choice paralysis, that awful fear that you might be picking the wrong option and then worrying about that instead of enjoying the game. There we go. There it is. The FOMO. The canon mode will automatically select what the developers consider the true historical path through the game, which the same AMA confirms will have a single canon ending. And of course, for those who find the idea plain strange, it's just an option with a branching storyline for two different characters set as the game's default. Yeah, let me know what you think, man. I would never play a game with that. That's just kind of weird to me. And, it's... I don't know. Maybe it's for you. Maybe I guess I really got to think about other types of players. There's so many people out there now with these weird neurodivergencies that you hear about all the time. I see it all the time on X and all that, where, I'm neurodivergent. I freeze up when I'm questioned and, all these strange things. So... maybe this is something for them. Maybe not. I think it's weird. Let me know what you think down below in the comments. Don't forget to subscribe to the channel. Ring that bell for notifications. I'll see you guys next time. Until then, peace.